BARAQYAAHLA. Flow, they say. So let me make sure my cup is full, if I may. Pour up some more. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Strip to the Line. Better hang on to your soul. This be the one that you're hearing, the one that you're hearing, your father that you see on the ride when you're leaving your house. I'm the cat, get a ragged and cheese on the mouse, and I'm humping the gun when I'm chasing a grouse. I got your red hands and cook them with my mouth, cause I spit the fire, yeah, the mix they breaks out. I try to reach out, like you're feeling the draw, the go in, I'm rubbing in the mic, you just talk, you don't get what I'm saying. I got my brother, fuck out of phone. Yeah, I wish I got it, like it, I roll it. My switch was there, out of the sugar, the most of acid is corrosive. Oh, the boat just came out, so I'm doing around, what I'm talking about. Oh, Yashara, that's who I'm calling about. Clicking the world at the beat of my school and I'm walking around. My Babylon on fire, now you're burning it down. The Lord is not my house, it's not a cow. The wife and fell off, it's like blue, black, and brown. The kingdom shall come and the rover bring them like Sodom and Gomorrah. All the bomber and the floor, I'm the rest is my aura, my spirit. 24,000 no cowards speaking. With you shall be safe, don't you get it? And when I say Jews, I do not mean no Jewish. Just bring up your words, they don't think I can prove it. Cause I'm back up to the ground, now I'm suing right. Identity theft. We shall enslave whoever shall be left. The remaining heathens will be wishing for death and forgiveness. While me is about drinking Guinness. Under our kidneys, their penis. He's the epitome and definition of greatness. Are you kidding me if you got it when I say shit? Are you kidding me if you got it when I'm patient? Well, I've been slain and I'm patient. Revelation 13:10 is my patience. I'll be cracking the whips till my shoulders are aching. I'll be working love and do not think that I'm winning. The working I give you, stop waiting. I'm laying the bricks. I'm casting on my cells. Don't you complain or you'll get the bell. They get to heaven, but I'll find the hell. That's your wake up call and got ringing bells. My flow is so sick that we feel the hell. It's Paul, it's the Lord, and we guard. It cannot stop it when it's Lord. And call us guard it like the Red Sea and guard. Something's uncharted, not planned. Baby, we're rock, I'm the man. One was still dead is the brand. Yasharala is my father, my land. Ain't the kingdom, the white man shall be banned. The word to be found, not even under the sand. Not underground, nor under rocks. The devil disappeared like a pure monkey box. The devil was cunning, but he got off box. He wanted to scrap with God, but he got off box. When everyone right, he got knocked off the socks. The Bible is real, it's the twisted and God of the stone. AHDAYAH's leadership be really worried about it. I'll say this out loud, allow me. The white man is a devil, the Bible speaks up. And I'm saying this proudly. Baby, BARAQYAAHLA. One West. Till then.
Wait, it's the kids next door? Can't use the negative, just stay inside. I was always outside, stick like I got a ride. Found the reason that I'm here, times I could have been homicide. Now how many tears I made, fraud in my mama's eyes. Traumatized, when you're still alive, but feel dead inside. Thug nigga to a priest, these are the life and times. Shitty criminal, but we try to live a life of crime. My nigga in the big house, daddy made for laying bricks. Looking at me like Trey, I told him I need out the whip. I didn't have a furious, and that made me furious. Streets will play the father role, it's horrible, period. Black Charger creeping through the night, I call it Harriet. Nothing new under the sun and moon. Oh, you hate your brother, Kane sentenced to the upper room. If he ain't going west, can't trust a nigga any day. He gon' try to sell me out, hit me with the MOK. I heard all the lies, what the fuck could you tell me? All I know is separation, that a nigga's wealthy. Pen pass a drug dealer, can't see the difference. Jews on the corner, hoping that the youth will listen. My king black and my women is. Look at us and look at them, you see what winning is. I come from neighborhood stick, cheap for everybody, little promise. If you graduate the streets or rap sheet diploma. I was always solid, code name Metal Gear. Stick tall as ZABADYAH, think he came from Delaware. Wherever the shell is shelling, I'm heading there. I know there's a rev in there, trying to steal a little princess better years. Thought I knew myself, but I really didn't. I was dead, put on all black and started living. Where I'm from, you ain't real till you go to prison. Memories of when they said they love me, but they ain't come to visit. Wanna see my niggas up, cause we at the bottom. Wanna feel my zone in that all black and feel like Gotham. I remember when we got it on them back streets. One white cop, 10 black men run like track meet. Cracking our palm though, who in there gave us that? Remember our captivity, make them have to run it back. Only like devils on their knees kissing bootses. Simple little deuce, total world deuces. This is a gun now, a die now, the Jesus bees. I come from the streets, now they gotta call me priest. I'm too used to the violence for the devil. tough shit. Had to break her heart in the streets, who I fell in love with. Used to walk a tear where a nigga shed no tears. Drop my sword, need the truth. That's my only fear. I know real niggas back up in the earth. I'm too out for I can't sit up in the church. Found an oasis in the desert, quench my thirst. If I ain't have my brothers, I'll be up at my worst. I'm just trying to break it cause I woke up in a curse.
Westworld. From Westworld. Don't be sure, tell them make sure. If not, we gon' make more. Clip saying hold 20, but I'm thinking could take more. Pray with stick fire on your cake, we gon' make scores. I ain't satisfied with my spot, then I'ma take yours. If you pull up many roadblocks in my way, I'ma break forward. If I'm on the show being narrow, I just stay forward. Put them on my plate, I'm never full. I just ate more. Put them on my plate, I'm never full. Give me 8 more. Nigga, I don't sugarcoat shit. Bitch, I'm straightforward. I'm in the book. They don't read me yet. I just break forward. All is so hard to instant with team that I play for. Scammer who? They ain't stop making guns when they made yours. Sick with it. Feeling like I woke up with stage 4. They ain't want the peace loose, but they opened up the cage for. You're the pain, been through hard times, is what I'm made for. Pay my dues, never left a wage, I just rage for. So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world. Got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, gonna be a story in my page. Against all enemies. In high school, you was the man that's all federation. Lost energy, never lost my energy. Never lose control, never lose the dog I play to keep. You lose your mind where I'm from. I ain't talking from what you see. I never lost soul. Losing time, wasting steady pacing. Lost track, I'm on that. Ready, I hope it ain't the same. But there's power about war, and that's a different angle. This is never lost cause, and I'm just adding to the list. They not seeing me for that reason. Got a flash on the right, nigga, big freaks. They gon' judge me by my increase, and I'ma keep stepping in these joys to the increase. Just got off the phone with Jacob, and he said it's time to shine. Certified, you die, put it on, now you verify. One West world, bigger than World War III. Do not sleep, it's not cheap, and it's still top 3. So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world. Got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, gonna be a story in my page. Came on boats and then changed. So when I get rich, I'ma grab a boat and 10 chains with 12 reds from each tribe. And each red gonna have at least 3 kids. Yeah, I'ma have the deep squad and rap SSD high. Now a nigga shed size. Spit that holy fire when you hear it, you get baptized. One West world, yeah, you niggas know the logo. And I'ma bust it down so the haters see the glow up. Let's have the peace, let's shine on our enemies. Right in their face, let's honor our enemies. Cause now we ask, but we come from half time. So that cash on the ground, my nigga, let's cash lots. I started from the bottom, birthed out of mud, raised by gangsters, turned out a thug. I ain't give a fuck. Birthed out, I was from hitting licks, in and out, and selling nicks in the trap. So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world. Got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, gonna be a story in my page. Fuck it. Yeah. Big word. That's the one. Yo. Give a fuck if you niggas frost, man, we been the coldest. Yeah, I serve your honey and he ain't never folded. And find me up at the top with the crown molded. And I was prior and I was found golden. Niggas was found stolen. We the cream of the crop and you the semi-colon. Pause. This a flawless victory. And we gon' run with the law for a couple centuries. This shit is big to you, for me it's elementary. School master, all about my history. You a Christian, lower than a centipede. Water down niggas, I ain't never chased my Hennessy. I keep it trill, but you a liability. Grown man business, call it heavy artillery. I keep it trill, but you a liability. Grown man business, call it heavy artillery. I keep it trill, I keep it trill, I keep it trill. You already know what it is, man. It's one way and one west. You hear me? Never trust a bitch born on her birthday. I'm a shit talker, I got wordplay. UPK with this shirt say she never seen a real nigga, this her first take. Shoot a David on me, I ain't Jewish though. I don't like Christian spirit, they move me wrong. You ain't in the truth, nigga, prove me wrong. I don't fuck with any type of bitch, all the Rudy hoes. Yeah, price going up. It ain't tequila in the bottle, don't even pour it up. Life's a gamble, cash and lots. Yeah, you ain't in the field, you a mascot. I want a natural bitch, no cash dog. No, she gotta be a order with me, I'm an asshole. My life true, but this ain't savage life. I'm with every bitch crave on the appetite. Only see me once, I'm captivated. Niggas can't keep it real, it's exacerbated. You don't want smoke like a cancer patient. Niggas tell for they get cross-examinated. 5, 5, 6 is the capitator. If I tell you about my life, you get animated. I might exaggerate, but I don't lie. I ain't in the same rewards, nigga. I ain't pop, lie.
This bitch was gonna give me problems from the beginning. Hey, what's the one West? People be thinking these scripts the only thing we holding down. But they ain't been with the UPK when we go to ground. Was it another day to tell a story? Know it now. Shamar tighter than you pussy niggas that wanna clown. Keep on playing these fucking games, you'll be terrified. We take shots like you the range and now you paralyzed. You ain't wanted it with the game, dog, we verified. We do our thing, it's for the cane, so we sterilized. We affiliated with none of y'all, cause they're alive. Bitch, I can call angels to do my bidding and they get die. I forgive my brother 77 times, 7 times. Either get with it or get gone and 7 times. I could build a mountain down a molehill. Take a man having no skill, teach my soul heal. Rock ice, cause your boy got a cold quill. 100 yards in the whole field, but a nigga got no chip. I'm keeping it true. T-O-R-E yellow, T-O-R-I double up. I'm a fighter, that nigga bitch, you a liar. That never feels the messiah's a legend. But you vaginas, they got us, man, we retire like golden gals and their body back. Told the bitch, you're a product. Living you a price for your possessions, you're a lie. We only fuck with the message, you're retired. We don't follow with the help of the body. We show them the bill, give them 100 more lectures for talking out of their breath, bitch. We follow doctrine, man. They taught us the inner reflection. This is the Jews of God. I said, this is chosen. I only follow the king. I don't vote, but ensure my election. They said the Jews is black. Yeah. I said the niggas is chosen. Yeah. I said Spanish is chosen. Right. All of my niggas are chosen. Right. They said the Jews are black. Yeah. And I said the niggas are chosen. Yeah. I said Spanish are chosen. Right. All of my niggas are chosen. Right. Don't be hot and cold. Don't just dip your toe in. All of them bars above your head. I know it feel like sewing. They said the Jews is black. Yeah. I said the niggas is chosen. Yeah. I said Spanish is chosen. Right. All of my niggas are chosen. They said the Jews are black. I said the niggas is chosen. I said the people are chosen. I said the niggas is chosen. Iron storage is stolen. Time to come back and get it. Cause the most high been calling. Israel in hell. Eat them in heaven and balling. Christ guys, time he installing. Giving us time to repent. Before we're stuck in the falling. We cannot lukewarm. Playing poker, we all in. Cross the line, we brawling. Babylon and falling. Come on and pray my people. Do not partake in the sins. World War III just walk off. Yahweh Shai the win. Yahweh Shai the king. Yahweh Shai the man of the Lord. The angels of champions we born the war. Chopping their head, another one over. They said the Jews is black. I said the niggas is chosen. I said Spanish is chosen. All of my niggas are chosen. They said the Jews are black. And I said the niggas are chosen. I said Spanish are chosen. All of my niggas are chosen. Don't be hot and cold. Don't just dip your toe in. All of them bars above your head. I know it feel like sewing. They said the Jews is black. I said the niggas are chosen. I said Spanish is chosen. All of my niggas are chosen. If they're in the Catholic Church, somebody pray for the children. Turn up the bass and level the trouble. You know that we shaking the building. They want to kill off our babies. Look how they fight for abortion. I'm trying to put on my brick. Oppressors are paid. I need my portion. She followed my lead. If I say jump, she touching the moon. I know that they scared. They don't take breath when we walk in the room. Mom been broke. He in the quantum physics. I just came home from a battle. Hopped in the quadrant. My princess looking exquisite. If he cross the line, beat him up. You know they gonna get it. They said that we chosen. They chose us to fill up the cells. I'ma add you back, man. How you gonna tell me you ain't living in hell? Well, I grew up. They said nothing will come up to us. We ain't see lawyers and doctors, only the killers and niggas.
Hold up. Oh, I be messing it up.
Hey, Shalom, Canada. To all the so-called black, Hispanics, and native, make sure you tune in. We have the Rise podcast. Make sure you don't miss it. Brought to you by Officer 1000 AHDAYAR, Officer 1000 ZABADYAH, Officer 500 SHARYAWAN, Officer 50 BARAQYAAHLA, ISUPK Canada, under Commanding General Yahana.
The place where you will learn biblical prophecies, scriptural truth, and how it relates
to our everyday life, our history, our identity, our oppression, and our future.
The Rise Podcast.
All right. We're back at it. I got Officer Shariwan. Give Officer Shariwan a hand clap. We got who else we got in the building? We got Officer BARAQYAAHLA. And myself, Precinct Officer 1000 ZABADYAH. What's going on, Akim? What's going on?
What's going on, Adwan?
How we doing? How we doing?
Everything Tawab. Everything always Tawab with the host doing the most.
Right. Officer Shariwan, what's going on?
Everything's too wild about the one. Just ready to get these stories in.
All right. This is the Rise, the Rise podcast, 1969. We're streaming 3 different places right now. Right, we're on the ISUPK No Cowards channel. We're on ISUPK Quebec and the Rise podcast 1969. Right, as a later date, as we build up the Rise podcast 1969, we'll primarily only stream on the Rise 1969. But for now, we're in all other channels. Right. 1 second. I'm about to drop that link. I gotta drop the link. Give me a second. Or Salakia, Officer Shariwan, get the link for the Rise Podcast 1969, the YouTube page, and drop it in the chat. Right. If you're watching this podcast, this tape, this video, however you want to call it, right, for the next hour, it's sponsored by the like button, right? Smash that like button, the subscribe button, and the share button. Share it to all social media, right? And as you share it, let everyone know it's time to start watching the Rise Podcast 1969. It's the best show in Canada, right? It's the best show in Canada, right? So thank you for everybody tuning in. Salakia. Also, get the chat active. You can type anything you want to, your reactions to what we're saying. If you agree or disagree, type it in the chat, right? Get that chat active. If you got any questions, you can ask it and we'll give you an answer. So far, we do got one chat from a sister, Samantha, right? So I pray I pronounced your name properly. Forgive me if I didn't. We'll get to your question in a moment, right? We got some good stories. Barak, what do we got today? What are we talking about today?
Hey, Adwan. We have our brothers, in a situation right now in Bahamas.
Right.
We have the ghost guns.
Ghost guns? Good night. Ghost guns make you disappear.
Right. We have a pastor who was arrested for watering his neighbor's grass, basically.
Nah. I don't know if y'all watch this video, right? I watch this video. We don't do nothing with Christianity, right? Because we are not Christians, right? We are not soft and mushy and moist. But this pastor, good night. He didn't even seem like a Christian. He didn't seem like an average Christian, right? So we're gonna definitely watch that. All right, how was your weekend, everybody?
It was, same old thing, different day.
Con. All right, so we'll start. We'll get into it, right? Well, first we got a question. The first question. Let's answer this question. It says, "Good afternoon. I have a question. I've been watching y'all for a while. How can I take what y'all teach and apply it? Teach what y'all talk and teach about and apply it to my life and my family lives." Right? You want to give this a shot?
Come, sir. Salakia's sis, I believe your sister, to Samantha Nelson. One of the most important things you can do is to get in class. To get in classes 7 days a week, if possible. Watch those classes. Ask the teachers questions. And join the school. Right? You join the school, you can get counsel from men of the Lord. They'll help counsel you on how to apply different scriptures to your life. And that's the best thing that you can do, sis.
Right. And if I could add on to what my brother is saying, because that's definitely important, right? She's saying she's already watching, right? So she be in the classes, she be watching, right? What I would say is you just do it. You want to apply it, just do the things we say. Like, we teach not to celebrate your birthday, right? Just don't celebrate your birthday. Right now, it might take your family a while to adjust to that, but don't celebrate your birthday. I don't even. It got to a point last year, I forgot how old I was because I haven't celebrated a birthday in damn near 3 years, right? We teach not to celebrate Christmas. Just don't do it. You don't have to put up Christmas decorations, right? You know how much money you save not celebrating Christmas, right? You don't have to buy a bunch of weird ass sweaters for everybody and socks and go spend like $1,000 on gifts. That $1,000 you keep in your house, right? Or you could go spend it somewhere in your nation. Loving your brother and your sister, you just do that. You do that thing where you ultimately love your. Now, love is an action word. You gotta. It's not something you could just say. You gotta do it. Like, your brother or sister needs help, you show them that love by helping them out, right? So what the things we talk about and teach, you just have to simply do it, right? And getting in class with you, it seems like you're already in class, is a good way to start.
Salaki, if I could add one thing.
God.
Something beautiful about this school is that we're the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge, right? So what we teach in this school are things that are practical, right? Things that you can apply to your life, things that make sense, things that work. So definitely getting that counsel, being in the school, that'll definitely help you out, sis. Salakia.
Right. It's going to help out so much, right? Because, okay, even when you think about how do you apply these things, it's like, it's nothing too complicated. It's your brother said, like, outside of that, right? Here's another one. Like, we teach about clean foods. How would you apply not eating clean foods? Well, you would, Salakia. How would you apply not eating unclean foods into your life and in your family life? Now, I'm not saying you're buying shrimp and pork and lobster and stuff, but you just simply don't buy those things. Don't cook it. Don't prepare it, right? That's another way of how you apply. And again, getting in class and finding the school in your city or in your zone or the brothers and sisters around you, depending on where you are, is to gather with your family. That's the best part. Gathering with your family is how you apply it. Right. So what do we got now? What's going on, Akim?
Well, what do you want to start with, Adawan?
Come on, we can start with them Haitian migrants. What's going on with them? The tribe of Levi.
No,
the
sir.
tribe of Levi and the tribe of Benjamin, Loya and Banyamyan. Right? What is going on over there? Let's get into that.
I got the article whenever you're ready.
All right, and Akim, you already know, like, y'all active in these conversations too. Jump in whenever you feel like.
Khan,
Khan, sir. Salaki, I'm just about to get Officer AHDAYAR in here.
Khan, Bon Lawyer, my nigga. Let's get it. All right, Barack, what do we got?
So, Bahamas detains more than 100 illegal Haitian migrants.
1 second. Bahamas does what?
It detains 100 illegal Haitian migrants.
Now, is the Bahamas a colony of America?
I don't think so, Adawan. Let me just double check.
Yeah, double check that right quick, right? Because that seems weird as hell. That seems like unbrotherly. That's that Christian church for you. No sweat, sis. We got you. Right. So let's see what's going on. Bahama detains more than 100 illegal Haitian migrants. Right. Officer Shariwan, do you have the article?
Salaki, Adawan.
Come.
Bahamas is also a commonwealth, right? So Bahamas basically belongs to the Queen.
It's Commonwealth.
Right. It got its independence from the UK, but its monarch is still the Queen.
Khan. So, Lakia, question: which one? There's an island that is kind of under the U.S. jurisdiction, sort of like Puerto Rico. You familiar
Probably
with
the
that?
Virgin Islands. There's the U.S. Virgin Islands and the British Virgin Islands.
Come on. All right, I'm gonna have to do more research on that. All right, Barack, you got it.
Khan. So the Royal Bahamas Defense Force (RBDF) Tuesday said it had detained more than 100 Haitian migrants found on an overloaded sloop in waters around the Caribbean country.
What is a sloop? I'm gonna have to figure out what a sloop is. You can keep reading.
Khan. The RBDF said that the 111 migrants, including 5 children and 14 women, were spotted near Ginchos Cay, located between the Bahamas and Cuba.
Okay, so a sloop is a one mast sailboat with a fore and an aft mainsail and a jib. Salakia, that sounds like
Khan.
it looks like a slave ship.
It's basically a small boat.
Basically a small boat, right? The boat's small enough, but yet still big enough to hold 100 people.
Khan.
All right, so you're saying the Bahamas Defense Force, they detain these brothers and sisters.
Right.
Okay.
And so
Officer Sharyawan, Bubba Kashat, off the rip, get me the law on if you find your brother in decay.
Sir.
All right, BARAQYAAHLA, you could keep reading.
Khan and Salakia, when we just a quick point on that, right? We had a similar situation in Martinique where they caught Haitian migrants, but
right.
They didn't really go on the Haitian migrants, right? They mostly arrested the people who smuggled them in the country, who were other Benjamin brothers, right? Who were trying to help some Haitians fleeing from Haiti instead of just like detaining the Haitians only, right?
In the words of 12 Shield General Mahayaman, oppression worked.
Right.
Oppression worked, man. You gonna arrest brothers trying to help brothers and sisters. All right, let's read some more. Y'all got thoughts on this? Y'all chime in at any time. Don't let me just hog up the airwaves. Y'all know I'll speak. I'll just keep going.
So it's said that the illegal migrants will be turned over to immigration officials for processing. Bahamian authorities said they expect to apprehend a record number Haitian migrants this year, with more than 2,350 detained so far.
Now, for the tribe of Loya, what is up? Like, what's going on over there in Haiti? Is that voodoo working? Where's all your voodoo priests? Right. That voodoo's supposed to be working. Now, Salakia, I know my brothers and sisters are going through a rough time, right? And we're not making light of the rough and horrible time you're going through, right? But we say that to say this. It's time to come back home. You have Officer Yatazar, and I believe there's a sister down there who are doing the most to bring you back home, to bring you back to the one West world, right? As Officer Danya says, one West world, Salakia, right? That voodoo ain't working. That priestess is not doing her job. All that bottled water she's spilling on the ground, right? It's not working. Or else you wouldn't be running to the Bahamas. Right. BARAQYAAHLA?
Kawakan. So with more than 2,350 detained so far, compared with 249 in 2020 and 1,644 last year.
Good night. In 3 years, that number damn near more than tripled.
Kawakan.
Right? In 2020, it was 249. Last year, it was 1,600, give or take 44. Right? And this year, that number jumped even more. We got 2,300, give or take 50. Good night. What is going on?
Right. So let me keep reading out one. Many Haitians have been fleeing the French-speaking CARICOM country as rival gangs clash with each other and kidnappings and murders increase. Right now, Salake, if I may, right now, Haiti is literally a war zone. You understand? Right? They want to talk about the war in Ukraine, whatever the case is, let the Ukrainians come into the country from the Mexican border, right, into the United States, or to let them come in Canada, into the UK, or in France, whatever the case is. You understand? But what about the Haitians? Haiti is literally a war zone right now, and they're preventing. And we've seen what happened at the mission to Acuna. They were preventing our Levite brothers and sisters from entering the country from the Texan border, right? And that's just it shows you how hypocritical the oppressor is, and how he really doesn't care about us, because he has no problem letting the Ukrainians pass the Mexican Texan border, but when it comes to the Haitian,
Right.
he has to whip them on horseback and prevent them from getting into the United States, fleeing their country, which is a war zone even worse than Ukraine right now. You understand?
Right.
If I
Right.
could keep-
Y'all can keep going. I'm just reading something real quick
Go
because
for it.
okay, so even when we think about Haiti, right? There's an article I'm reading over real quick trying to get the point out, but Haiti, after they fought for their freedom, right? Because our oppressor is such a devil, France forced Haiti as well as other countries to pay back France for the money they lost during slavery. And that's what has Haiti in such a poor state right now.
Right.
So I'm trying to go through that article to see if I can find the point to bring out. But if y'all got anything y'all want to talk about on this topic, man, just go for it.
Right. That's a luck if I could. It's definitely sad to see what's going on with our brothers over in Haiti, and it's like, as I think about it, you know, even when I think about when Christ came, right? Like Christ came to tear down all the leadership in Israel, because he understood how important leadership was, right? Like it says in Jeremiah, our gates are in languish, right? Our leaders, the people that are supposed to be there to guide us, right? They failed us. And when I look at the tribe of Levi, man, like the role that the Levitical priests had over the nation of Israel, it was their job to lead and guide us. And when I look at some of the tribes and what they're going through, the tribe of Levi is getting it, right? Like we've been saying, like, I know we kind of joke around and say going through it, like the tribe of Levi is going through it the most. Or slack, I shouldn't say they're going through it the most, but they're definitely feeling the punishments of disobeying the Most High.
Right. If I could read something right quick, right? This is an article I'm reading. It's basically called "The Greatest Heist in World's History," right? So in this article, it's talking about the debt that Haiti has to pay to France, right? So I'm gonna read a little bit of it. Much of this debt to France was the legacy of what the University of Virginia scholar Marlene Duault calls the greatest heist in history. Surrounded by French gunboats and near a newly independent Haiti was forced to pay its slaveholders reparations. Good night. Can you imagine, right? You've been enslaved for so long, right? Forced to make other nations rich, right? And then as you gain your independence through war, because that's damn near the only way you're gonna get free from this oppressor. Right now, I'm not saying that today we have to pick up arms and go fight a war against these oppressors, because we absolutely don't. Because you can see the Most High has been raging war against the heathen nations for us for a while. Right.
Shalom, shalom, Adawan, shalom, Asher Adiyar, Yahweh Shem Shabbat.
Hey, shalom, Akim Yabashim Yashabaktom.
Dog.
Hey, shalom, sir. Yahweh Shem Shabbat. Right. So as I was saying, you can definitely see that the heathen nations have been I damn near lost my train of thought for a second. What was I saying? Haiti had its independence, and they fought. We know that nowadays the only way you could beat this oppressor is by going to war. We're not telling blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to go to war with their oppressor physically. We're telling them to separate spiritually. Right? You don't have to always spend your money with these oppressors. Spend it with your own brothers and sisters. You don't have to. Again, this goes back to the sister's question on how we go to war. We go to war spiritually by separating. We don't partake in their holidays. We don't partake in their culture. We found our culture in the greatest book ever written, right? The most selling book ever. That's where we found our culture. In the greatest book ever written. I got you. That's where we found our culture. Let's play musical chairs right quick. But we're good. Right? Salaki, what has us in the background going? I think Officer AHDAYAR, is that you? Okay, yeah. Officer AHDAYAR, you just need to figure out your audio situation, and then you can come back on off mute. Right. I wanted to read one more thing. Right, and then Officer Shariwan, you can get me that article. I wanted to read one more thing. So, Salaki, priest, what were you saying? Officer Shariwan, you can get me that article. I wanted to read one more thing.
Sir.
Salaki, priest, what were you saying? I think that's Officer AHDAYAR. Right?
Am I too loud with the sound?
No, the sound is kind of off. You have an echo in the back. Yeah, you got an echo going on in the back. Right. Maybe you have to log out and jump back in, and then it'll work out. Right. But I wanted to read this last part. Right. Haiti was the first nation to permanently ban slavery. But as a nation of freed black slaves, Haiti was a threat to the existing world order, right? Meaning white men were running the world, and they still do, right? President Thomas Jefferson worked to isolate Haiti diplomatically and to strangle it economically, fearing that the success of Haiti would inspire slave revolts back home, right? And this is something they still do, where you have an all-black neighborhood, but black people don't own any of the businesses or the properties in that neighborhood. Another example is when you look at the reservations, right, in Canada, where the Gadites are, and the reservations in America, where the Seminoles are and the rest of the Gadites are, you'll notice money is going through those neighborhoods, but they don't control their own banking. It's just like for black people. Controlling your own banking is such an importance, right? Because it gives you money, a way to make money, and it gives you a way to invest that money. But when you don't control your own banking or the businesses, you're basically starved, right? And Commander General Yohana, he was breaking this down yesterday at the big camp they had at the Harlem Cookout, right? The Harlem Cookout is going on right now, and there was camp in New York Times Square. Right, and Commander General Yohana, he was breaking down how to stop gun violence, right? And it's basically stop robbing black people, right? They've been robbing Haiti. Okay, if y'all got anything y'all want to add, go ahead.
And so like if I may.
Come on.
And my sound is too loud right now?
It's too loud. If you're watching in the chat and the sound is too loud, just put a 1 in the chat. If the sound is
I just
good,
want to give
the vibe is good.
big shout out. You understand? Big shout out to a brother now, I mean, in Montreal right now. You understand? I know some of y'all met the brother already. My nigga local. You understand? You understand? Now I mean,
Right.
it's a right brother. You understand? Just give the school these two books, right? It's in French. Mystère des signes and symbol. Mysteries of sign and symbols. You understand? It just gave you understand the school this book, and we have another book as well that he just gave out. So like it. Dictionary of Symbols. You understand? Dictionary of Symbol. You understand? For all the brothers, you understand? Also, BARAQYAAHLA could not mean particular in that. It's they are in French, however, you understand? But just to give a big shout out, you understand, to the brother, you understand? He's been giving books and everything, you understand? To the school, you understand? School. You understand? Hopefully the brother Nami will be in the UPK pretty soon, man. He's right here with me right now. All right. He's right here with me. So hopefully the brother will be in the school pretty soon. Now I mean we'll chop it up. A Latino brother, ISUPK right brother, you understand? So hopefully, you understand, that brother will be in the school and waking up now. I mean the lost children, I mean the lost Hispanics, you understand? Bring that lengua fuerte over here, you understand? Or some BARAQYAAHLA, you already know.
Right. Give that brother a hand.
Yeah.
All right, Officer BARAQYAAHLA, what else do we got in that article? Right? Because Officer AHDAYAR, we're talking about how 100 Haitian migrants, right, brothers and sisters from the tribe of Loya, Levi in the Bible, right? They were on a one mass sailboat somewhere between Cuba and the Bahamas, and were
Wow.
detained by Bahamian forces.
Come on.
Right. So it's just basically the last sentence, right? In addition, the country faces a socio-economic crisis with thousands of people unable to feed their families.
So like, if I may, I can. Somebody can bring him into Malachi chapter 2, Bible question.
Come, sir.
You understand? And for every Asian out there, for every Levites out there, so like, if I mean, I don't want to take over this. You understand? But you understand?
Go ahead, priest. You're Tawab.
Most saying Christ, so what a priest. You understand? This is what's going on with Haiti, man. For you Asians, you understand? For you Asians out there, this is what's going on. You understand? Everything that we're going through, you understand, is in the Bible. You understand? Especially for you Asian, you understand, Levites of the Bible. This is in the Bible. Malachi chapter 2, man.
Salaki out on verse 1.
Carl,
Come, sir. The book of Malachi, chapter 2, and verse 1.
go ahead.
And now, O ye priests, this commandment is for you.
Go ahead.
If ye will not hear, and if ye will not lay it to heart, to give glory unto my name, saith Yahweh.
Now this is us Levites, Asians. We were the priests back in the days. You understand? We were the priests. We were the one. You understand? With the police of Israel. You understand? But we refuse to obey what God said. Instead of doing what we were supposed to do, we rather do what everybody else was doing. We rather do, you understand, what every other nation are doing. And this is why today you have Asians, you understand, that's into voodoo, into Christianity, and so on and so on. Because we refuse to follow, you understand, what we have to follow. We rather follow everything that's outside of our culture. Keep on going.
Come. I will even send a curse upon you.
I will do what?
Even send a curse upon you.
So this is what we live in, a curse. You understand? Malédiction in Creole, in French. You understand? This is what we live in today. Keep on going.
And I will curse your blessings.
Curse what?
Curse your blessings.
Just like Officer ZABADYAH was saying, just like Officer BARAQYAAHLA was saying, you understand? Like we won the independence of Haiti, right? But we still had to pay France, which means, you understand, that independence don't mean them. It's them thing when we got to pay for our own freedom. You understand? Independence is supposed to be a blessing where we are free from slavery, but we have to pay for that. and we still pay France, you understand, $21 billion, you understand, for our independence, for our freedom. Nah, that independence is a curse, man. You understand? And still today we have to suffer, you understand, under what we're going through right now. Go ahead.
Yea, I have cursed them already,
Go ahead.
because ye do not lay it to heart.
We do not lay it to heart. You understand? We think, you understand, like we Africans. We think, you understand, voodoo is our culture. We think, you understand, Christianity. We think that Jesus is white. Tell an Asian brother or sister that Jesus is a black man, just like you and I. He's gonna tell you, no, not my Jesus. Jesus is a black man. Jesus is not is matter of fact, you understand, just like Africa had a, you understand, they just arrested them an Edomite in Africa for portraying Jesus. You understand? They just did that in Africa, you understand, recently. You understand, Africa, one Edomite with a bunch of, you understand, like African, you understand, and my preachers, because they were portraying, you understand, a white Jesus and going around saying that they're doing miracles. You understand? Haitians think that Jesus is white. You understand? Jesus is not white. Jesus is just like you and I, a black man, a nigger, a negro, just like you and I. Keep on going.
Verse 3. Behold, I will corrupt your seed.
Go ahead.
And spread dung upon your faces.
And do what?
Spread dung upon your faces.
All right. Everybody's seen that Asian eating mud cookies, right?
Oh.
What's in the mud cookie?
Good night.
Go ahead.
Feces.
Where do the cow take a dump? In the ground. You understand? What happens when the rain falls? That dung, you understand? That feces, you understand, go all over to the ground. That's what the Asian were eating. You understand? That's in the Bible. You understand? That's in the Bible. While we went through Asian eating mud cookies, that mud has dung in it. You understand? Has shit in it. Salaki. That happened to us, Asians. Why? Because we refuse to follow what we gotta follow, man. Keep on going.
Even the dung of your solemn feasts.
Go ahead.
And one shall take you away with it. Verse 4. And ye shall know that I have sent this commandment unto you, that my covenant might be with Levi, saith the Lord of hosts.
And this is why we went through these things, and this is why we're going through these things, because God made a covenant with us, man. You understand? Right. As Levi, as Haitian, you understand, to be the scientists, to be the lead. I don't want to say leaders, but to be, the priests and prophet, of Israel, and we've refused that. You understand? We rather, you understand, instead of having glory in Israel, in our own nation, we rather do, like what everybody else is doing. Now, you understand, when you see Haiti is destroyed, this is why Haiti is destroyed. Because we refuse to do what we got to do. Instead, we do what, you understand, everybody else is doing. This is why we are destroyed. This is why, you understand, Haiti is still, you understand, in the situation that it's in right now. Keep on going. So like our priest and Officer ZABADYAH, if I may, I could do the old chapter, right? It goes up to verse 17, all right?
Con.
All right, to water, please.
Verse 5. My covenant was with him of life and peace.
Go ahead.
And I gave them...
So read that again.
My covenant was with him of life and peace.
What does that mean?
So
what is life? What is life? Go ahead, please.
Constance Salaki, is this saying basically he had like a good portion for Levi, like he had like a high place of position, a good life for him.
The name of Levi is loyal, close to God in Hebrew, right? You understand? So Levi back in the days were really, you understand, the people, you understand, that was supposed to, to show God, you understand, what God is about, you understand, on the earth. That's what we were supposed to do. You understand? We were supposed to, to show the other tribes what God is about. You understand? This is life. Life is exactly following what God said, the commandments of God, the precepts of God. You understand? This is what we had to do. And peace. Because why? If we follow exactly, you understand, what God says, what would happen in our life? We have peace.
Right.
You understand? We don't have no dilemma. We don't have no drama in our community because we follow exactly, you understand, not to kill another brother, to love another brother, not to, you understand, prostitute our sisters. You understand? Not to be homosexuals. You understand? That's what would have happened if we follow what God says to follow. But as Levites, we refuse to do that. Instead, we want to be African. Instead, we want to be just like the Edomites. Instead, we want to, you understand, be just like the East Indian. Instead, we want to be just like the Chinese. Instead, we want to be just like the Arabs and follow Muhammad and follow Allah. You understand? That's what happens. Keep on going.
And I gave them to him for the fear wherewith he feared me.
And I do what?
Gave them to him for the fear wherewith he feared me.
What did God give to the Levites to fear?
Salaki, other one.
Well,
the judgment for our people.
There you go. You understand why? Because you understand we had to fear God, you know what I mean, in a way that nobody else did. Because you understand, we know if you do this wrong, this, you understand, just like, you understand, like white people want to call it karma. You understand? Just like white people want to call karma, we had that knowledge. We call it justice in the UPK. We have that knowledge. You do this wrong, this is what happened to you. You do this right, this will happen to you. We had that in our mind, but we lost our train of thoughts. We lost our ways because why? We forget exactly the laws of the Bible and the justice and the judgment of the Bible, man. Keep on going.
Come. And was afraid before my name.
Go ahead.
The law of truth was in his mouth.
You understand? You understand? I've been in Haiti, Akim, you understand? In Haiti, you understand, we could talk about the Bible, you understand, like from the afternoon, like after supper, right? We ate supper. You understand? Like where I was at in Haiti, I was right in front of a cemetery, right? And we used to sit on the tomb and just talk about, you understand, the Bible all to 3 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, till the next day. We slept for a few hours and we got back at it, you understand? Just enjoy time and everything, eat some good food and talk about the Bible. Why? This is inside of us as Levites. We want to learn. We want to know exactly about God. You understand? And if you talk with a Asian or a Levite brother or sister, you understand? Especially a brother, you're going to see, you understand, that we want to learn exactly about spirituality. We want to have that conversation about spirituality. That's what's in our mind. It's been in our mind, since back in the day, because you understand, this is this is our culture. This is where we come from. Understand? But the thing is, we forgot our real spirituality. We want to go back to Africa. We want to go back to voodoo. We want to go back, you understand, voodoo, which is really, you understand, the same thing as the East Indian are doing. You understand? Really, you understand, like some Arabs, you understand, do magic and everything, witchcraft and everything. It's really the same thing. Meanwhile, we have a power. We have, you understand, our own culture, which is following the God and the precept of the God of Israel, man, which is in the Bible. Meanwhile, every Asians have a Bible in their house and don't even know, you understand, what I'm talking about. Don't even know what Officer ZABADYAH is talking about. Go ahead, speak. Go ahead.
Come.
Hold on a second, please.
Autant les Haïtiens créent la triomphe contre le temps à l'église, et même samedi, dimanche, tout le temps à l'église, tout le temps en train d'adorer Dieu. Ils connaissent pas non plus la Bible.
All right, the brother over here, you understand, said just like the Latinos, you understand, they have the Bible and they don't know the Bible. You understand? Because we have been indoctrinated by the lies of the Bible, man. You understand? And this is why we had, you understand, the series, you understand, called just like last Monday, I did a series, you understand, in the New Testament, you understand, is for the Israelite. I did a series about, you understand, the slave Bible. This is what we had. You understand? Where they show the slave, you understand, portion of the Bible, the portion that will keep us docile and everything, but they don't tell us the truth about the real revolutionary work behind the Bible. You understand? Go ahead, Officer Sharyawan.
Come. And iniquity was not found in his lips.
You understand? Iniquity was not found in his lips. You understand? You're not gonna. Back in the days, we didn't have Ezuli Dantor, which is really Semiramis. You understand? Papa Legba. We didn't have that back in the days. You understand? Which is, you understand, the type of spirit in voodoo. Today, you talk to a Haitian and everything, all you're gonna hear is, but you understand, Papa Legba, Ezuli Dantor, you understand, and so on and so on. You understand? Well, these things were in our mouth, in our train of thoughts, you understand, back in the days, because we follow exactly, you understand, what's in the Bible, our real culture. And that's why we got to go back into, if we really want salvation, if we really want, you understand, something different. Go ahead.
Come. He walked with me in peace and equity.
Go ahead.
And did not turn many away from iniquity.
You understand? We didn't turn many away from iniquity. What did we do? We brought back people, you understand, to the truth, away from iniquity. And that's the job, you understand? Not just as a Levite, but as every Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian 12 tribe of Israel. This is our job. This is our main job, to turn our people away from iniquity, man. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 7. For the priest's lips should keep knowledge.
Now, we are priests in the Most High, right? In the UPK, we are priests, right?
Right.
You understand? Read that part again.
For the priest's lips should keep knowledge.
We should keep knowledge. You understand? Our mouth should speak about knowledge. When we speak, when the ISUPK speak, I know y'all already seen it. When we speak, what happens? People like, damn.
God.
Yeah, you guys have so much knowledge and everything, you understand? Like, I was with Officer BARAQYAAHLA, you understand? Even a white man was like, you guys are some geniuses. You know what I mean? You guys are geniuses now. The type of thing that you speak and talk about, I've never heard that in my life before. You understand? And that's what we should be about. But you know what? Back in the days, the Levite like that. But we refuse to, you understand, go with that and go into that. Instead, we wanted to follow what everybody else follow, do what every Christian is doing, do what every, you understand, NOI, you understand, Nation of Islam is doing. We wanted to do, you understand, what everybody else is doing instead of keeping knowledge. But in the UPK or the coming in General Yohana, we're going to keep that knowledge until Christ come back. You understand? Keep on going, please.
And they should seek the law at his mouth.
They should see what?
Seek the law at his mouth.
We should seek the law out of his mouth, man. You understand? Because why? Because everything that we got to think about when you wake up in the morning, think about the laws of God. Think how, you understand, how you were, you understand, a piece of crap that in the past, and how you could be better today. And every day, be better than what you were, you understand, yesterday. That's not our purpose in the UPK. Why? Because we keep the laws of the Most High in the mind, man. Just like, you understand, the Levite we're supposed to do. Just like the Haitians, we're supposed to do. Well, you know what? We're going to do it in the UPK. Officer ZABADYAH is doing it. Officer SHARYAWAN is doing it. Officer BARAQYAAHLA is doing it. We keeping them laws in our mind, man. You understand? Like this, we could change our life. And we could change our people's lives, man. Keep on going, please.
Come. For he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts.
Go ahead.
But ye are departed out of the way.
Well, we have done what?
departed out of the way.
We have departed as Levites. This is for the Levites. You understand? This is for the Levite, and you're gonna see, I mean, the curse. You understand? Everything that happens to the Levites today, you're gonna see it, I mean, in this chapter. You understand? Go ahead.
Come.
Verse 8.
Ye have caused many to stumble at the law.
Yeah. We have caused what?
Many to stumble at the law.
This is, I mean, when you speak about voodoo, you make people, you understand, stumble at the law. When you talk about Christianity, you understand, come go to church, I mean, come to this church and come to that church, you make people stumble at the laws, man. When you say we could eat griot, which is pork, fried pork, you understand, you make people stumble at the law. When you say we could eat lambi, you understand, which is, you know what I mean, like sea snails, you make people stumble at the laws, man. Matter of fact, you understand, they say like lambi, sea snails are aphrodisiac you know what I'm saying, in our culture. You understand? They say, you know what I mean, you have some sea snails, Akim, and after that you could, you know what I mean, you know what I mean, give it to your woman, you know what I mean, until the, you know what I mean, the sun come up and everything. That's in our culture as Levite. Meanwhile, we disobeying the laws of God, man. We destroying our body by doing so, man. Keep on going, please.
Come. We have corrupted the covenant of Levi.
We have done what?
Corrupted the covenant of Levi.
How did we corrupt the covenant of the Levites? How did the Levites corrupt the covenant of the Levites?
Salakia, other one.
Go ahead.
They started teaching traditions of men.
Exactly. You understand? That's an excellent way to put it. You understand? We started teaching tradition of man. You understand? Things that is not about us, but about other people, man. That's what voodoo is. You understand? When you go in the history of voodoo, you're gonna see those voodoo. You understand, like goddesses and Loa, as they call them, or spirit, or forefathers and everything. They are the same thing as the, you understand, as the Greek mythology and everything. They are the same thing as Egyptian mythology. They are the same thing as, you understand, like Semiramis and everything. Like, you understand, like all the way back, you understand, mythology. We teach them tradition of man. Meanwhile, we're not supposed to teach them that, but we're supposed to teach them the truth, which is in the Bible, man. Go ahead. And so like Akim, you understand, I just want to get that chapter because it's really talking about, you understand, like what's going on with the Levites, and you understand why we're suffering. You understand that chapter in the Bible is specific for the Levites and what's going on with them. All right. So since we're in the subject, I just want to touch on it. All right, Akim.
Come, sir.
Go ahead.
Verse 9. Therefore have I also made you contemptible and base before all the people.
What the wait. Wait, read that part again, Baba Question.
Okay.
Salakia, my brother over here was asking, well, why 80 is destroyed? Why 80 is destroyed in this point? Now, I mean, we can't even bring food, you know what I'm saying? I see the yucca from, I mean, South America. I see the mangoes from Mexico and South America. I see, you understand, all the, I mean, vegetable coming from South America. Why 80, you understand, doesn't produce things in Canada? Why can't I see it in Canada? My brother was right here, and I said, asking me, you understand, right before this podcast, asking me this question. You're gonna have the answer right there. Go ahead, also, Shawan.
Come, sir. Therefore have I also made you contemptible and base before all the people.
What does that mean, contemptible? What does contemptible mean?
Salak, the other one.
Go ahead.
Like you're deserving of punishment.
Deserving a punishment. Keep on going.
Come. And base before all the people.
Wait. What? And base before all the people. What does that word base mean?
Salak, the other one.
Go ahead.
Is to be base is like to be low. Right. Like the lowest people.
So what is 80 considered as today? Anybody could answer, I can. What is 80 considered as today?
Slovakia, sir.
Go ahead.
Like a third world country.
Come. Somebody want to give it a try? Speak it, say it in English. You could say in English. And my brother said, I mean, the country, the poorest country in America.
Come.
Understand? This is why my brother, I mean, local, you understand? Ivan said, you understand? The country, the poorest country in America. Read that part again.
Come, sir. Verse 9. Therefore have I also made you contemptible and base before all the people.
You understand? The poorest country in all America. You understand? I was in TikTok the other day. Some white Edomite, you understand? You understand? Edomite, you understand, came up against his sister. You understand? Say, well, Haiti is really the poorest country, you understand, in the world. Is really a shit whole country, just like Donald Trump said. You understand? In the world. That's in the Bible, Akim. Yeah. That's right there in the Bible. That's why we're reading, you understand? When Trump said Haiti is the shit old country, it's right there in the Bible. Why is it a shit old country? Because we refuse to follow, you understand, what we got to follow. We rather smoke weed. We rather, you understand, be homosexuals. We rather, you understand, do anything that is against our culture and against, you understand, what we're supposed to follow. And that's why we are a shit old country. It's right in the Bible. We are the poorest country. Meanwhile, Haiti was called, the pearl of the Caribbean. Understand? The richest country in the world, you understand, should be one of the richest countries in the world should be Haiti, with everything that we have in Haiti. Well, we are the poorest, actually. We are the poorest. Why? Because we refuse to follow what Officer ZABADYAH is teaching.
Damn.
We refuse to follow what, you understand, Officer SHARYAWAN is teaching. We refuse to follow, you understand, what Officer BARAQYAAHLA is teaching, man. That's why we are the poorest. It's right there in the Bible. We are the base of all the nations, man. That's what's going on in Haiti right now. You understand? So now, if you want Haiti to progress, come into UPK. Come follow it exactly. You understand what we got to follow. Come listen to what also, you understand, 1,000 ZABADYAH is saying. Also 500, you understand, SHARYAWAN is saying. Also 50 BARAQYAAHLA is saying. Come listen to them, man, and change your life. Keep on going, Officer SHARYAWAN.
Come, sir. According as ye have not kept my ways.
We have not what?
Not kept my ways.
Understand? The only one that's doing what his ways, the ways of the Most High, is in the UPK, man. You're seeing it right now. If you're not in the UPK, you're not keeping God's way, man. Understand? You're not keeping God's way because we make sure that we keep, these laws, statutes, and commandments in the UPK, man. If you're not in the UPK, you're not keeping God's commandment. You're not following God. Be in the UPK. Come learn what it is, to follow God. You understand? Keep on going.
But have been partial in the law.
I've been what?
Partial in the law.
We seen it with Christ. We seen it with Christ, you understand, when they wanted, you understand, to kill that adulterous woman. Christ said what? If one of you is without sin, throw the first stone. They didn't throw the stone, right? Because they were doing the same thing that the woman is doing. That's why they didn't throw the first stone. They were doing, they were guilty of the same law that they were trying to, you understand, put that woman in death for. You understand? Well, we're not partial in the law in the UPK. We're fully in the law in the UPK, man. I'm going to come in and General Yahan. Go ahead, please.
Come. Mm-hmm. But have been partial in the law. Verse 10. Have we not all one Father? Hath not one God created us?
Go ahead.
Why do we deal treacherously every man against his brother?
Why do we deal treacherously, amongst ourselves? Why do we rob another brother? You understand? Why do we sell weed to another brother? Why do we prostitute our sisters? That's dealing treacherously, you understand, among our brothers and sisters. Why don't we pay tithes to those, you understand, that's really about this nation? You understand? Why don't you give your 10% to come in the General Yahan? When we see Benai Brief, you understand, call the government, you understand, call the, you understand, the You understand? Everybody that they have to call the news and say, don't let community general come in Canada. You should give community general, you understand, your 10%. Because you understand, it will make sure that there's no homeless, you understand, in the Canada. It will make sure that Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians don't have to beg for money. Keep on going, please.
By profaning the covenant of our fathers.
Go ahead.
Verse 11. Judah hath dealt treacherously, and an abomination is committed in Israel and in Jerusalem.
Now, I mean, Judah has done, you understand, treacherously, has moved treacherously, and an abomination is committed in Israel. Why? Because we refuse to keep the laws. What do the Christian church teaches? The laws are done away with. You don't have to keep the laws of the Bible. It's only the 10 Commandments. Where's homosexuality in the 10 Commandments? Anybody could say? Where's homosexuality? Where's rape in the 10 Commandments?
Right.
Where's pedophilia in the 10 Commandments? Meanwhile, I could see in the Bible that, you understand, there's law against those things. Keep on going.
Come. For Judah hath profaned the holiness of the Lord which he loved, and hath married the daughter of a strange God.
There we have it. That's talking about, I mean, you understand, a lot of Asian, you understand, writing, you understand. I was you understand, yesterday in a festival, Afro-Caribbean festival of BARAQYAAHLA, right? And we was looking at, I mean, like most of I mean, the people that was over there was with the Edomites or Chinese or something else. A lot of our brothers, you understand, was, you understand, with other nations. You understand? We're not supposed to have sex, you understand, with other nations, man.
Right.
Some of us did it. I've done it back in the days, you understand? And I realized that, you understand, I was wrong. We were wrong. Instead, we're going to love another, you understand, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian system. We're going to build her up, you understand? Some of us have 1, some of us have 2, some of us have 3, some of us have 4, so on and so on. You understand? I know also ZABADYAH. I know also ZABADYAH now been doing this thing. Also SHARYAWAN is doing this thing. You understand? Also BARAQYAAHLA, hey, you understand? Also BARAQYAAHLA with, I mean, a coalition of women, but they're all gonna be they're all gonna be Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, man. You understand? Right. So all these things, you understand, are against our culture, and we got to come back to our culture, to who we are. You understand? Now, one thing that in the Levi community, you know, one thing that goes in the Levi community, a baby that you have with a Edomites or Chinese and everything is more beautiful or more, you understand, pretty or has more value than a baby that you have with your own sister. That's what's going on in the Levi community. Understand? Well, you know what? In the UPK, we are against that. That baby, if it comes in from, understand, Levi father is an Israelite as well. No matter, you understand, the skin color. But we, know what I mean, we pray that you get a sister in a righteous mind that did her 90 days in the UPK, and you're gonna see the benefit of that relationship and of that child. Your child is not gonna be like, you understand, what you see outside. Your child is gonna be like, I mean, royalty. You understand? Among everything else that you see. Keep on going, Officer SHARYAWAN. We're almost there.
Verse 12. The Lord will cut off the man that doeth this, the master and the scholar, out of the tabernacles of Jacob.
Go ahead.
And him that offereth an offering unto the Lord of hosts.
Go ahead.
And this have ye done again, covering the altar of the Lord with tears, with weeping, and with crying out.
Go ahead.
Insomuch that he regardeth not the offering anymore.
You understand? We don't give it them, you understand, but the sacrifice of Christ. You understand? Because all we want to do is follow everybody else, man. You understand? Now you seeing the suffering of the Haitians. What's going on with the Asian? The fact we are the poorest country on the world, and I mean one of the poorest country in the world. You seeing exactly why, man. You understand? You seeing exactly why. You understand? The white men come in Montreal North. You understand? The police come in Montreal North and just parade. You understand? Make their presence feel. You seeing why, man? You seeing why? You understand? When coronavirus came, you understand? They say, well, it started in Montreal North because the Haitians are so disgusting and dirty. You seeing why, man? Because we refuse to follow the laws of the Most High, man. Keep on going.
Come. Verse 13. Or Salakia. And him that offereth an offering unto the Lord of hosts.
Go ahead.
Salakia. As at the end of verse 13. Insomuch that he regardeth not the offering anymore, or receiveth it with good will at your hand. Yet ye say, wherefore? Because the Lord hath been witness between thee and the wife of thy youth. Against whom thou hast dealt treacherously. Yet is she thy companion and the wife of thy covenant.
So what does that mean? Anybody wanna break it down? If it's talking about wives right now, we want to give it a try.
Salaki, Officer Shariwan, can you read the precept again?
Come on, sir. Verse 14. Yet ye say, wherefore? Because the Lord hath been witness between thee and the wife of thy youth, against whom thou hast dealt treacherously.
Salakia. So this is talking about, if I may, Officer AHDAYAR, correct me if I'm wrong. This is talking about the wife of our youth is how do you say it? It would be our culture or the laws that the Lord gave us, right? That's what we're married to, right? And we've dealt with the Lord and our culture treacherously, the laws, statutes, and commandments treacherously, where we go off from it, and that's why we go through the curses. That's why there's no brotherhood between Haiti and the Bahamas, right? When you're supposed to deal with a brother that you find in decay, and you're supposed to restore him.
Come on. Because why? The Levites were supposed to be married to that tree. Just like every other Israelites are supposed to be. We in the UPK, we married to that tree. And this is why before, you understand, we talk to a sister out there, we're going to tell her, you understand, I got one wife, one main wife, and that's the truth.
Right.
And that truth comes before you. You understand? That truth comes before you. And that is the wife that is talking about, you understand? The Levite had to keep that wife. You understand? All right, so just leave it a little bit. Keep on going, Officer Sharawan.
Come on, sir. Verse 15. And did not he make one, yet had the residue of the Spirit. And
all right, drop that, break, go to verse 17. Let's finish the chapter like this. You know what I'm saying? We close the chapter.
Come on, sir. Verse 17. Ye have wearied the Lord with your words.
You have what?
Wearied the Lord with your words.
What are the works that we did? That were with the Lord.
Select, Yadawan.
Go ahead.
Things like saying that we love God, we love the Lord, but we don't do anything that He says.
What's the main thing that the Asians are known for? Say it again. Voodoo. You understand? We worried the Lord, with the voodoo that we're doing. We worried the Lord, with the Christianity. Voodoo is really Christianity, you understand? Especially Asian voodoo.
Right.
You understand? It's really Christianity. You understand? It's when you put a voodoo, you understand, like an altar, and in a Catholic altar, you're gonna see the same thing. It's the same thing. You understand? The voodoo altar And the Catholic altar is the same thing. And this is why in the voodoo altar you're gonna see, you understand, they use candle with so-called, you understand, saints that are white. Because it is the same thing. And when you read about, you understand, voodoo and Christianity, you're gonna see, you understand, that in 80, let's say, I mean, the real voodoo that they used to follow back in the days from Africa, they don't follow that in 80 today. Then I mean, your voodoo priests and everything follow exactly Christianity, Catholicism, and everything. We vary the laws with these things. Why? Because this is not our culture. Our culture, you understand, is what Officer ZABADYAH, Officer SHARYAWAN, Officer BARAQYAAHLA, Officer 5,000, you understand, Aban, I mean, Commander General Yohana is doing. It's keeping these laws, precepts, and commandments that are in the Bible. Keep on going.
Come. Yet ye say, wherein have we wearied him? When ye say, every one that doeth evil is good in the sight of the Lord.
Everyone that does what?
That doeth evil is good in the sight.
In other words, they say, you understand, when they do evil, they say what? Amen. Hallelujah. What do you see in the church? Hallelujah. Hallelujah. My Jesus. Jesus. Meanwhile, that same woman that's saying, I mean, yelling Jesus, having sex, you understand, with another man while she has him.
Right.
You understand? Meanwhile, that brother, you understand, that's yelling Jesus and everything, he's a homosexual. Meanwhile, that brother, you understand, that's yelling Jesus, you understand, and everything, having sex with little kids. That's what we have been doing, you understand, outside. And that's why, you understand, we are destroyed as Levites. You understand? I just wanted to bring that out with the Levites and everything. I came, you know what I'm saying, y'all got it next, all right? So like, you know what I'm saying, for taking all this time, all right?
It's heavy, sir.
What else is about it?
Con, no, that was just heavy. It's definitely something that the Levites need to hear, right? And there was a question in the chat from the sister. She asked, if our people in Haiti are going through such a hard time, can't we over here start our own thing where we can bring them up, house them, have our own school to teach our children? Sis, we have that. It's called the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana, right? There's a video that I was looking for. One moment. I got to see if I can get it without freezing up my computer. Right? I'm most likely going to play this video at the end, right? But we had a school, the ISUPK school in Texas, led by Captain Yatazak, right? He led a bunch of brothers and sisters into a level 4 cartel country drug route, right? With food and water to feed the Haitian brothers and sisters that were trapped under bridges that our oppressor was just abusing. He was abusing them while whipping them on horses and basically trying to run them down on horses so they would drop the food just because they hate Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans so much. Sis, we ultimately have that, but we need all our people to come home and funnel money into the ISUPK so we can take care of our brothers and sisters, right? Because as Black people, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we spend money everywhere else. We'll spend our money on liquor. We'll spend our money on weed and fashion and a bunch of other things in prostitution that it doesn't help our nation, right? What we do need to do is funnel this money into the ISUPK. This is not the Christian church. We don't listen. I got this little chain on right now. I paid $20 for it. It's fake. It is not real. These are not real diamonds, right? In the Christian church, they take your money and buy Rolls Royces and diamonds, right? And then get robbed for it. In the ISUPK, we take our money and feed our brothers and sisters, right? And there's a video that I'm going to play after if you're still watching, or you can come back always later and watch it because the stream will be up. It's not going nowhere. And you will see the mission to Acuna. Or just type in ISUPK mission to Acuna, right? It's Acuna, Mexico. And you'll see us feeding our brothers and sisters.
If I may preach as well, like a lot of our people, you understand, like the classes that we are doing, you understand, we in the you understand, we in Canada as well, you understand, we in Montreal, we in Toronto as well. But a lot of our people, you understand, instead of, you understand, coming in class, they're gonna be like, well, you know what? That 1 hour class, that 2 hour class is too long. I want something that entertains me. I want something that make me smile and make me dance, make me understand, like just entertaining. That's what we want. We don't want the truth, really. You understand? In Montreal, in Canada, you understand? Most
Right.
of us want the truth. You understand? We just want to be entertained. Now, if you want the truth, you're right here, sis. You understand? You're right here. You understand? You saying, you understand, those classes, you understand? You're in the podcast right now. You understand? We have something in Canada, you understand, which is what you're looking at right now, which is the, you understand, the UPK, you understand, which is the Israel School of Universal Practical Knowledge. And one thing that I got to say as well, we are not affiliated with no other fake Israelite group out there. You understand? Because
any
a lot
group.
of our people, God, any group. You understand? Because our people, you understand, a lot of our people, you understand, into that, you understand that I mean, like a purple rain group or purple group, we are not affiliated with them. When you see us, you don't see anybody else. You just see us on the community journal, you understand? You see the truth. You understand? Now, if you want the truth, there's gonna be a few steps that you will take. Are you willing to take those steps? That's the question that you should ask yourself.
Right. And also, before we get into the next story, we have something in Canada, which is this brotherhood right here, right? Just adding on to what Officer AHDAYAR said, we're building it right now. So if you want to see something like that in Canada, my advice is to keep watching classes, keep donating to the ISUPK, pay your tithes so we can build it, right? Because now we're not rich people, but together we're rich. Together we can put our money together and build these same things you're speaking about to help our brothers and sisters, right? Because we're not B'nai B'rith, a organization that owns buildings, right? But we're trying to get to that point. Salakia. All right, Brock, what do we got for the next story?
1 second. So next story would be 3.1 million US worth of cocaine seized in the Caribbean Sea.
Good night. What is going on over there? All right, Brock, let's bring that up.
Okay, give me 1 second. Pull up the article.
Officer Shariwan, can you get me? I suffer a Salakia. I suffer a witch not to live.
So 3.1 million US worth of cocaine seized in the Caribbean Sea. The United States Coast Guard says it has seized cocaine worth an estimated 3.1 million US, and that 8 men had been detained during the interdiction of a vessel near Puerto Rico on Thursday. It said that the crew of the Coast Guard cutter Le Garé and the Caribbean Corrido Strike Force seized 330 pounds of cocaine in the Caribbean Sea, and that the 8 men who claim to be Dominican Republic nationals are facing U.S. federal prosecution here.
Good night. Now, 1 second. This is absolutely terrible or absolutely horrible. Right. Now, the one thing y'all got to know, right? This is a bunch of drugs headed to, where was it headed? It was seized in the Caribbean Sea. Did it exactly say where it was headed?
The one it just said they got it near PR, right? And that the men who were arrested claimed to be Dominican Republic nationals.
All right. So now, this is something that we know that happens a lot. A lot of drugs make their way into the Caribbean countries, where many of our brothers and sisters are from, where many of our family are staying, and from there it finds its way into Canada and into the US, right? A lot of the drugs that make it into the Caribbean, right, it's not necessarily for our people, right? Our oppressor treats the Caribbean islands like their playground, right? It's a playground. It's how a lot of Caribbean islands make money off tourism, because a lot of governments they make sure that these Caribbean islands only have a certain way to make money, right? Just like what they did with Haiti. Salakia, Officer Sharywan, you're gonna need to take over the story if you're with us, or I'll keep reading. Right, a lot of brothers and sisters, they're Salakia. This is just a horrible thing. Let's keep reading. One second. Where were we? All right. The U.S. Coast Guard said the smugglers face federal charges of conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute a controlled substance aboard a vessel subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. Right. The charges carry a minimum sentence of 10 years imprisonment and a maximum sentence of imprisonment for life. The U.S. Coast Guard said. Right, a lot now. It's everybody always wonders how do these drugs make it into our neighborhoods, right? And this is it right here. Behind the scenes somewhere, some oppressor is controlling this narrative, just like the CIA did back in the 70s and the 80s when they introduced heroin and crack cocaine into our communities to kill the black organizations, right? And again, I was just stating earlier, a lot of these drugs that you see, right, especially the drugs caught in the Caribbean islands, it's making their way to the tourist sites, right? That's specifically where it's going. So oppressors can go in, they can go and sniff a little cocaine while they're on vacation from oppressing blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Right.
Officer BARAQYAAHLA, you want to keep reading?
Kawakan, I just want to say this real quick. I don't want to Salakia. The oppressor is such a goddamn devil because he's creating the supply for demand, right?
Right.
Because not only is he the biggest buyer of drugs around the globe, but he's the biggest drug dealer as well. You understand?
Right.
I mean, if we were not following the ways of our oppressor, that like these brothers would not have been arrested in the Caribbean Sea and would not be facing any type of charges. But because we're so oppressed, right, we think and we look at the oppressor like someone successful in the world. We think like following his way will become the next Tony Montana. You understand? Which is a fictional character anyways. But that's what the oppressor,
if I may add,
Kawakan.
The actor who played Tony Montana was an Edomite portraying himself to be from the tribe of Manasseh.
Kawakan, Salaki out of one.
God.
If I may add to what you just said, that Edomite is actually of Italian descent. You understand? And just like many during the reign of Castro, many Edomites of Italian descent were actually sent to the U.S. and abroad, right? They were kicked out of Cuba. So that made perfect sense that they use an Edomite to portray Tony Montana. You understand?
Right. So, and Khan.
Salaki, if I may as well, you understand? A lot of people understand, like in the Manasseh tribe, you understand? What they did, you understand, during those times in the Manasseh tribe in Cuba, right, is bring in, you understand, Spanish people, you understand, from Spain, you understand, to make believe, you understand, they are, you understand, our people, you understand. So a lot of you understand, like there's a documentary about it, you understand. I'll try to find it and send it to y'all. But you understand, there's a lot of people, you understand, in Cuba, you understand, that they are not our people, you understand, where they had, you understand, to import, you understand, like Spanish people from Spain into Cuba, because you understand they didn't want to, you understand, like our people, you understand, to be the major people in the island. So you know what I mean, they imported, you understand, those people in Cuba, those Spanish people in Cuba, you understand. So there's a lot of things, you understand, that's going on in the islands as well. You understand, a lot of, you understand, just like they show, like, you understand, like with that movie and everything, with that Edomite was like, you understand, like, well, I am from Cuba and everything. Well, a lot of them are not Cuban. A lot of them, you understand, are, you understand, Spanish people, you understand, from Spain that was brought up in Cuba. I mean, that was brought up into Cuba. You You understand? To make us believe that they are Cuban. You understand? So like it, please.
Khan, that's definitely heavy. Officer Shariwan, do you have that precept? Salaki, I'll get it. 1 second. Hold up. Right, it's let's if we were to keep reading this article for a second, let me see if I can read it right while I find that precept.
It's Salakia, sir.
Khan. Can you find the precept I suffer a witch not to live?
Come
Right.
on, sir.
I'm gonna keep reading. Lieutenant Commander Charles Wilson, commanding officer of the cutter Joseph Doyle, said the interdiction is an example of how successful interagency cooperation can be through the use of our collective resources. Right? Listen, the U.S. knows exactly where these drugs are going to be at the specific time because they're the ones placing the order. It's like they have a tracking device or a tracking number on the drugs that they need to come into the economy, right? One thing that many countries don't speak about is drugs is a major part of their economy, right? From the money that they take from the drug dealers to the drug dealers going to jail and feeding towns, right? For example, if you get caught selling drugs in Canada or in Toronto for specifics, or let's just make it a little wider, in Ontario, right? And you get time, you're convicted and you have to serve time and it's under 2 years. You're going to be serving time in a town under 2 years in a town called Penetanguishene, right? At the Central North Correctional Center, right? That jail, that detention center, it employs damn near about half the town, right? So when you're in those places, you commit crime, you're helping the economy of Canada, and that's something they don't like to speak about. They just make it seem like they want crime to stop. They can stop crime, just like they can shut down the borders to make sure nothing moves during coronavirus.
Right.
Shariwan, you can read that precept.
Come on, sir. It's the book of Exodus, chapter 22, verse 18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
All right, Salakia. Read that one more time.
Come on, sir. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
Right, a drug dealer is a detriment to the Black community, Hispanic and Native American community, right? If you want to be a drug dealer like Richard Porter, in the words of Captain Akkad Abarayam, right, or 144 the Rebel, die like Alpo, right? A drug dealer is not supposed to live, right? Because drugs is witchcraft. You stand over a pot, working your wrist just like a witch, just like the fairy tales of how witches would be over a cauldron, right? Mixing different kind of chemicals together that's going to entrap your people, right? And you destroy homes, right? So like for the sister Samantha Nelson, right? My best advice for you would be to call an officer in the ISUPK, right? Call Officer Aban and get counsel, right? Salakia. I'm gonna put the email in the chat so you can email the email with your contacts, and we'll email you back with a number that you can call for counsel. Or someone Baba Kasha, put Officer Aban's Facebook and his phone number for the Canada School in the chat so the sister can call and get counsel.
Khan.
BARAQYAAHLA, you take care of that. Officer Shariwan, keep reading.
So Salaki, that's the end of the verse.
Khan. A witch is not supposed to live. A drug dealer is not supposed to be alive in our community because you kill right? Listen, one brother with a bad pack of fentanyl will kill damn near 50 people and feel no ways about it and just say this is bad. I need to get rid of it. He'll crush it down, recook it with something else, and keep selling it and kill more people. Right, destroying our community. A witch is not supposed to live. Right, if you drug deal, you are a Klansman. You are a white supremacist. Come on, Barack, put the candidate email as well.
Khan.
Right, we could drop that. We're coming up on the time shortly. We got a couple more articles to go through. Let's go through them. I'm gonna pull up the next one. The next one that we have is, hold up, this one we're gonna read for sure. All right, so we got a next one, right? This is, again, sis, you could call Officer Aban, right? You can hit up the Gmail, the ISUPK candidate email, and well, you already got the number and his Facebook, right? Also, ISUPK Canada on Facebook, and you'll be able to seek counsel, so you can get some counsel. What I would tell you, and this is not counsel, but it's just my advice: don't be afraid of monkeypox. Monkeypox are for homosexuals. Right. It's not for children, right? It's affecting damn near 90% of homosexuals. Don't be afraid of the Most High's plagues. Fear the Most High. That's what you need to fear. Like, the plagues are not for us, right? Listen, during coronavirus, that 2 years, I didn't even really wear a mask. I didn't fear the plague. I feared the Most High. I feared the Most High so much that I stopped smoking weed. I stopped sleeping with whores. I stopped being a witch, stopped drug dealing, right? And I loved my brothers and my nations and kept his laws, statutes, and commandments.
Okay.
Right? Salakia. Let's get into these ghost guns. Barack, you got the ghost guns?
I got it. Give me 1 second. I'm pulling up the article just now.
Got it.
I'm about to read about the Casper guns. So, police charged 2 men with using 3D printers to build handguns in Calgary.
Wait. Y'all been wondering why all these guns are going off in your neighborhoods, and y'all thought it was the CERB. The CERB is not why all the guns are going off in the neighborhoods, because guns aren't as expensive as you thought they were now, right? Yeah, y'all thought the guns still cost $5,000. Guns are being printed. They're printing guns. Keep reading. What'd you say, Barack?
I just said Salakia. I don't know about Toronto, but in Montreal, it never really costed like $5,000 to get a strap, right? Probably like 1,200. You know, $2,000.
Well, it all depends on the gun that you're talking about, right?
Salakia, priest, not even in Montreal. $500 you could get a gun in Montreal.
Right, but what I'm saying is, I'm just giving you the Toronto prices, right? And it depends on the name brand of the gun that you're getting.
Khan.
That also plays a part, because a lot of these kids they want the Glocks with the switches. Well, you can just print a Glock now and print the attachment to it, right? Good. That also explains why the guns are going off in Montreal. Before, you're saying Officer AHDAYAR, you're saying before it was just $500, right? Well,
right.
Ghost guns are extremely cheap. Who knows what they're paying now for them? But I can tell you firsthand, in Toronto, a gun can cost anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000, depending on the name brand.
God. But let me get into this article, right? So far this year, city police have seized about 15 guns constructed using 3D printing, compared to 2 in 2020. Police say they have laid 66 charges against 2 men after an investigation into a suspected firearms manufacturing and trafficking operation in Calgary.
Good night. And Calgary has a lot of murders. The murder rate in Calgary, in the prairies, in the western Canada, right? It is going up. There's a lot of drug dealing as well. Many brothers and sisters who are jealous of the oppressor's way of life, they go out west to sell drugs because of the Salakia. In certain provinces, the minimum wage is extremely high, right? The cost of living is high as well, but the minimum wage is high, right? So in certain provinces, minimum wage might be $15, might be 14. When you go further out west, it jumps down there to minimum wage being $25 to $30. And that's for like a simple job like working in a convenience store or a McDonald's per se, right? And now you have Edomites out there printing guns, right? There was a couple in Canada, in Toronto, that they got caught printing guns as well. There was another couple Edomites who drove across the border with a RV full of 30 guns destined for every neighborhood.
Right, and Salaka, if I may, out of one.
Gun.
These guns that they're trafficking, they're not gonna sell these guns to other white people. They're bringing these guns into our neighborhoods so we could shoot up each other. And then they're gonna complain about the so-called gun violence in Toronto, in NDG, in Montreal North, wherever we are, right? Jane and Finch, Regent Park, whatever the case is. But they're the ones supplying the firearms. They're the ones supplying the firepower, and then complain about the fireworks. You understand? And also they wanna point the finger at us, saying that we are a violent people, when there's no other people more compassionate than blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You understand? Right. But they provide us the tools to destroy each other, whether it's the drugs, you understand, the prostitutes, and the firearms in that case, right? And they're not gonna talk about that, the fact that they're literally targeting a specific people to supply to. You understand? Afterwards, those same people they supply the guns with, whether it's the like the bikers or the Irish mob or the Italian mob supplying the guns, or the police itself, the police that may be a supplier of firearms will arrest you for the firearms they provided to you. You understand? That's all I wanted to point out.
Good night. That's definitely heavy. Salakia, give me one moment. If y'all got anything else y'all want to add on this topic, y'all can add it. I'm just looking for something real quick.
Kawakai, Salakia. I'm just gonna stray away, not too far from the topic, but the guns that we get in the Caribbeans, you understand, whether it's the M16, AK-47, whatever the case is, who's supplying those guns in the islands? You understand? I mean, I'm gonna speak for like the smaller islands, right? From Trinidad to Vinci to Martinique and Guadeloupe and so on. Our guns, we get them mostly from South America, Venezuela, because Venezuela is right there. It's right next to Trinidad and Tobago, right? And these guns, they just keep traveling up north in the smaller islands. But even from Venezuela, who provide these guns to Venezuela or to Colombia? You understand? Which is the country right next door, or any South or Central American country. It is known that the U.S. provided these guns to our Latino brothers, right? And then these guns are traveling up to the Caribbean islands. You understand? At the end of the day, it all traces back to the white men providing guns to us so we could destroy each other.
Right.
You understand? Whether it's like the war that you have in the garrisons, in the barrios, right, in any ghettos, in the favelas, we shooting each other's, right, with the firepower that the white men provided to us, right? And we're killing each other over drugs that the white man is providing to us as well, whether it's to get high on or to sell to our own people or to make sure just we end up in jail. You understand? The violence, we don't cause the violence in our countries. The white man is causing the violence. Our oppressor is causing the violence in our countries. That's all I wanted to point out, Adawan.
Right, and good night. And you can see like okay, we know that our oppressor, who are the Edomites, Esau was a cunning hunter, and he was giving the gift of weaponry, right? And it's you can see that they're using that knowledge that they have of weapons to create all sorts of different kind of weapons that are ultimately going to go into the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American neighborhoods, right? I'm just trying to find that precept. 1 second. Officer Shaywan, can you get me Genesis 25? Kashar, if I may. Yeah.
Salakia, you're Genesis 25 and verse 1?
Khan.
Khan, sir.
Salakia, it doesn't have to be Genesis 25, verse 1. You could jump down to, where are we? 20. First, you could jump down to 20 real quick.
Khan, sir.
Jump down to 21.
Khan. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 25 and verse 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived.
Keep reading.
And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. Verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
Right. Okay. So what we're reading about is the origins of our forefather Jacob, right, and his brother, who's not his brother anymore, Esau, right, and the Rebecca, she found out that 2 nations are in her womb, right. Keep reading. Jump down to verse 27.
Come. Verse 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter.
Right. So Esau, he's the forefather of the so-called Caucasian. He was a cunning hunter. He was given the gift of weaponry, right? That's why they have the knowledge to now they don't have to go to some factory to print a Glock. They can just get a regular laptop, a 3D printer that they could buy off Amazon, order specific parts off the internet that are going to get mailed into Canada, right? And they start 3D printing a gun. Khan.
What he's saying is powerful because, like we're reading, right? I mean, I'm just gonna paraphrase. Esau was gifted with the sword, meaning, right. You understand, to be able to manipulate weapons or to handle any type of weapons. That's the gift of the Caucasian people. That's how they're so successful at genocide. You understand? And like you say, they just have, even if they can't buy guns of the dark net or whatever, or supply guns from the mob, they find a way to supply guns without having to go to the hassle of, importing them illegally. They're just printing them right now. Understanding that is the gift of the white man, the worst oppressor that is on the face of the earth, the goddamn devil that the Bible speaks of.
Right. That's definitely heavy because that is a gift from our oppressor. And just to go to the precept that you paraphrased, right, which is the water brought, because that was the exact one I was looking for, which is Genesis 27 and 40. And by thy sword shalt thou live. This is the blessing that Esau was given after Jacob got the birthright that Esau sold him. Right? He's gonna live by the sword. He has the knowledge of all weapons. Who do you think made the atom bomb? Right? Who do you think goes around our neighborhoods and just shooting up churches? Right? Who do you think is bringing all these ghostly Glocks and Glock Generation 4s into the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community? it's our oppressor Esau who was gifted by the sword. If Montreal is wondering why there's 80 shots in a 24-hour period or in a, I don't know, 3-day period, it's
Like
because
a 24
Esau
hour
was
period.
gifted by the sword. Salakia?
24-hour period.
Right. If you're wondering why 80 shots are gifted, 80 shots are going off in a 24-hour period, it's because Esau was gifted by the sword. He's taking that sword and selling them in Montreal North to the Levites. Right. Barak, y'all got anything else in this article? Or if any other brothers, y'all want to add anything?
If I may, Baba Kwasha, please.
Come on.
And let's get in also 5,000 Yatazar, you understand? He's on what you want to call it, you understand? He's online, you understand, like with product and everything, Yakuba and everything. He's on Etsy, you understand? The application Etsy, you understand? Go on Etsy and check out Yatazar. He has a lot of product now, giving out, you understand? You understand? And Mama Sense, go ahead, you understand? Get your product and I see Officer ZABADYAH, you understand? You got now to Zaya oil, you understand? Most I ain't Christ.
Yeah.
Give me a
I think Officer ZABADYAH might be grabbing one of Officer Yatazak's products.
Come on. Yo, I got one. I got his necklace right now.
On Most High in Christ.
I got his necklace and everything, you know what I'm saying? Beautiful piece and everything, you understand? I'm gonna get more things, you understand? Like, hey, let's get it, man. Let's put you know what I mean? Let's support one another, you understand? And one thing that I dream to see is the fact that that one of us in Montreal, in Canada, in Toronto, we have our own businesses and we could, you know what I'm saying, partake, you know what I'm saying? Just like you see the stocks, you know what I'm saying? You see the stocks, you know what I'm saying, with the internet money and everything. Let's, you understand, build something so we could, you know what I mean, build up and you understand, and rise up with, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, Salakia, the one.
Go ahead, please.
While you're talking about that, right? I'm coming up with the sauce doing the most pretty soon.
Hell yeah. Yo, also Barakela got some sauce, that sweet sauce, man.
Right.
Spicy and everything. I'm probably gonna give him a recipe, you know what I'm saying? You could be now even more spicy. You know how I do. You know what I'm saying? But also Barakela got that spicy sauce, man. Check him out as well, you understand? Let's get it, man, for real, man. We need to build up in Canada, man, you understand? We need to build up in Toronto, Montreal, you understand? Let's, you understand? Not just build up, you know what I'm saying, in this knowledge, but in every factor of our life, let's build it, you know what I mean? And every other, you know what I'm saying, Israelite, you know what I'm saying, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian that want to have garments, Officer SHARYAWAN, I got the garments. Contact Officer SHARYAWAN in Canada, all right? All right, so like, all right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, let me just keep going into the article.
It's Salakia, Officer ZABADYAH. You're on
Yeah.
I got one of the picks right here.
So like
Good night. This pick is
just put the pick
good.
out.
Nah, I use it in my bed. I just be doing this. Like, hey, listen, my hair is not being pulled out. Those regular Afro picks will pull your hair out. I got some of the oils. I just take a little, and then I be putting it in my hair. I be with the hair butter too, and I got some sense. Good, nice. It's Tawab. It's definitely a good investment. Captain Tazariak has a sale going on right now, and he might have a 50% sale by tomorrow.
All right,
right.
So like a priest, if I may.
Come on.
And can you give more, you understand, more knowledge into, you understand, the fact, because I try to buy the Captain Tazariak oil and everything, but the price that, you understand, that we get on Etsy is like double the price, you understand, of the product for the shipping. So all right,
so the Salakia priest, the best way to do it, I'm gonna get his website right now. 1 second, I'm pulling up the website right now. The best way to order is directly from his website. Right. So I'm gonna put the website in the chat.
Unfortunately, for women.
Right. So the website is definitely in the chat, right? That's the best way to order. There should be a sale going on right now. And if there's not a sale going on right now, there's going to be a sale tomorrow. It might be 50% off. I think that's the last thing I heard Captain of 13,000 to ZABADYAH say, right? Now, hold up. There was something I wanted to speak on to see if I could find it. Damn, you know what? Next week on our podcast, we're gonna have a session. It's gonna be a 5-minute session where we introduce a black business. And going forward, every week we're gonna try and introduce a black business. So Akim, what we need you to do is, right, let's just not talk about black businesses. Let's be about it. Go around in your zones and find black businesses to support and get them to shout out the ISUPK, right? And do a promotional video so we can air it on our podcast.
So lock you out of one. Just to add on that, just to clarify to anyone who's listening out there, when we say black business, we're talking about so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indians. So if you have any black, Latino business, Native Indian business you want to promote, whether it's a restaurant, clothing, accessories, perfumes, whatever the case is, you know, we'll contact you or send us a message on isupkcanada@gmail.com with the business, whatever products or service that you offer, and we will promote you on the podcast every time that we are live. You understand? From now on.
Salaki, I think we have a podcast email. Salaki, let me just find out. Maybe 1 second. Let me find out. I think we have a podcast email.
All right, I'm gonna check out. You understand? From the podcast right now. So I just want to say, Nami Shalom to everybody. You understand? Shalom to all the black, Hispanics, and Native Indian. Shalom, Israel. All right.
Hey, Shalom, Yabashir Shabbat.
Shalom, Yabashir Shabbat.
All right. So what everyone's gonna do if you're watching this, don't send your business to isupk.com. Not to isupk.com, to the ISUPK Canada Gmail, right? Send it to the Rise Podcast 1969, right? If you got a black business, send it to the Rise Podcast 1969, right? At gmail.com, so we could promote your video. Do a little 2-minute clip or commercial, if you may, on your business, and we'll promote it. Right. Salakia. Okay, let's get into this last story. Officer BARAQYAAHLA, you got anything else you want to add on these ghost guns?
I was just gonna keep on reading on the article a bit.
Khan, bring us to the meat of the article.
Give me 1 second, other one. My phone froze. On August 16, police charged Brendan Vincent Wagner, 24, of Calgary, with 10 counts each of firearms manufacturing, possession of firearms or restricted device in an unauthorized place, and possession of a firearm in contravention of prohibition order, 7 counts of firearms trafficking, and 1 count of money laundering. His next court date is set for September 30. Also charged was Justin Kumar, 27, of Calgary, with 7 counts each of trafficking firearms, possession of firearms or restricted device in an unauthorized place, possession of firearms while unauthorized, and careless storage, handling, and transportation of a firearm. Understand?
Good. Nice.
In total, 66 charges have been laid as part of this investigation. Staff Sergeant Ben Lawton with the Calgary Police Firearms Investigative Unit said 3D printed firearms are a growing trend that officers are working to address through targeted enforcement. Salaga, if I may add one.
Khan.
Whenever they get firearms, right? They always scratch off the serial number, right? So you can see it's been scratched off. But with 3D printed guns, there is no serial number to scratch off in the first place. So
Right.
that's which is a reason why we call them ghost guns in the first place, because
Right.
these guns
Because
are untraceable. You
right.
understand? They cannot find where they got these guns from. So most likely they're gonna speculate, okay, these guns were 3D printed in the first place because there is no serial number nor any serial number that is scratched off, so we cannot trace the gun anywhere, right?
And what is the most dangerous part about these 3D printed guns is that majority of the 3D printed guns, right, are Glock style guns, meaning
Right.
they have the specs to add the attachments that a Glock could have. So you'll have a 3D printed gun with a high capacity 3D printed magazine, straight up and down. And you'll be walking outside and you'll just hear 30 shots go off and wondering how the hell is 30 shots going off. And here's another aspect. I'm gonna give Aki, I'm gonna give y'all another aspect. And I pray some of our brothers and sisters somehow find this program that we're conducting right now, specifically this part right here. Them 3D printed guns are jamming. You're gonna
Right.
get into a shootout. It's going to jam on you. It's going to seize and malfunction, and you're going to get shot in your behind and die. Right? And this is why we tell y'all to stay out the streets. The streets is dead because what are you gonna do? You're gonna be running a drug organization, selling these drugs, selling guns, killing your brothers and sisters, while the police put wiretaps in your car. Right? Okay, the people don't know right now that the wiretaps aren't on the phone no more. Right? They're putting bugs and implants in people's vehicles. Right? And then you're getting an organized crime charge, and your whole gang is going down. And Salaki, if you don't know, everyone's telling. The whole gang is turning upside down because y'all don't have brotherhood. If you had brotherhood, you wouldn't be selling drugs. And if the oppressor wasn't the oppressor, if he wasn't the devil the Bible speaks of, he would have redeemed you for the captivity that he had you in. But now you're in captivity and you think that the only way to survive is to be a drug dealer, is to be a prostitute, is to be some pimp that's abusing your sisters. Good night. Y'all got anything else y'all want to add on this?
So that's pretty much it. I mean, yeah, also I want to add, just like you said, most of these guns that are 3D printed are Glock style guns, right? But they also are printing parts to build fully automatic rifles, basically. You understand? So it doesn't just stop at Glock style guns. They're getting Uzis, ARs, whatever automatics or semi-automatic rifle and submachine guns they could print. They will print the parts and assemble them together. Right.
Right.
But
That is definitely
the most
heavy.
common guns are Glock style guns.
Right. The most common, like in the city, is Glock style guns. No one's really walking around with the AR-15. No one really wants that because they're hard to store. Someone's mom's gonna find it. Your girlfriend's mom is gonna find it because you're keeping the gun at your girlfriend's house. She's gonna find it. So no one's really rocking with those, but it's a terrible thing that our people are going through. Officer Shayuan, you got anything else you want to add?
Nah, sir.
Khan. So with that said, we're going to be bringing a close to this podcast. I'm going to share the Mission to Acuna video. I'm going to let it run. Akim, y'all could jump out when you're ready, right? We're going to still be live for about the next 17 minutes while I share the Mission to Acuna video. Right. I'm going to share it because we were asked earlier, what are we doing? And this is just proof of what we can do when we're in our righteousness, when we're in our brotherhood, and when we treat a brother, when we see a brother in decay, right? And you restore that brother, this is Mission to Acuna right here. Give Texas a hand. Give all the brothers and sisters in Texas who helped this mission be completed. Give Commanding General Yohana a hand because he raised up these brothers to do this job. This is what black men, Hispanic men, and Native American men in their righteousness, in their love for black people can accomplish. Right. So again, I'm Officer 1000 Zabadya of the ISUPK. We had Officer 1000 AHDAYAR, Officer 500 SHARYAWAN, Officer 50 BARAQYAAHLA, right? With us today on our program, right? Again, this is the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana, started out 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, right? Established 1969, and we teach that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites of the Bible.
Yeah. Shalom, Israel.
Right. So I'm gonna play this tape right quick. I'm gonna play a little bit of this tape. I might play the next one so you can understand what we did for our people. Again, if you got a black business that you want to promote, send a little 1 to 2 minute video with the details of your business, along with a little write-up of your business so we can read it out, right, to the Rise Podcast 1969 at gmail.com so we can promote it for black people to see. Right. Shalom. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Barakatham to all the brothers. Yahweh Shema Alatham Bashem Yahushai to all the sisters.
Hey, shalom, Israel.
This is time we live. Pour nous garantir des vêtements. Pour nous faire connaître que nous même haïtiens. C'est vrai, père Israël. Vrai, père choisi, mon père. Mais nous-mêmes haïtiens, nous-mêmes qui baguons d'âme dans les nous, nous-mêmes qui baguons bon dans les nous, nous traitons nous comme des animaux. Et nous allons montrer qui ça dans la Bible. Nous allons montrer dans Deutéronome chapitre 9, qui ça nous connaît de nous. Que nous-mêmes nous ne connaissons pas. Parce que nous faisons l'identité de nous aller dans l'esclavage. Comme Deutéronome 7. Deutéronome chapitre 7, verset 6. N'a fait ça parce que c'est un peuple qui vit à pas pousser, mon Dieu nous ennuyé. C'est des désir, ça. À partir des grands papas, nous pouvons faire courir. Il dit que nous sommes pères papa. Nous-mêmes, haïtiens, nous sommes pères papa. Continuez-y. C'est nous-mêmes, Seigneur, mon Dieu, nous avons choisi à tout peuple qui est sur la terre pour nous faire nous tourner au peuple qui est les balles. Dans tout peuple qui est sur la terre, Seigneur, choisi nous-mêmes, haïtiens. Nous comptons à l'entrée-vous, à vérifier dans ma douleur. Seigneur, va aimer tout le monde. Seigneur, c'est haïtien, c'est fait moi, l'espagnol avec les pieds de la citadelle. Parce que son terrain c'est mouillé. Et c'est avec nous, Seigneur, parler là. Si ça, Seigneur, dirait, il a encore. Faites la gâterie. Cadre encore, Deutéronome chapitre 7, verset 6. N'a fait ça parce que c'est un peuple qui vit à pas pousser. Mon Dieu nous a prié. C'est nous-mêmes, Seigneur, mon Dieu nous a choisi dans tout peuple qui est sous la terre. Pour nous faire nous tourner au peuple qui est les balles. Dans tout peuple qui est sous la terre, Seigneur, choisi nous-mêmes, haïtiens. Choisi nous-mêmes. Et c'est ça, blanc dans le réaï. Blanc dans le connaît, identité. C'est nous-mêmes qui mettons nous dans l'esclavage. Pour qui ça, parce que nous avons haï, c'est ça que le Seigneur choisit pour qu'on ne fait pas. Et pour ça, nous sommes un diable qui est loyé. Blanc dans ça, nous sommes un diable. Nous ne sommes pas comme ça. Et bien, je dis,
décidé, nous-mêmes haïtiens, qui écrit dans Deutéronome, commencez dans verset 1. Deutéronome chapitre 28, verset 1. Si nous coûtons essayer, bon Dieu nous, si nous faisons tout ça, nous pas nous l'autre fait aujourd'hui, Seigneur va faire nous toutes les nations qui sont grandes, parce que toutes les nations qui sont sur la terre. Seigneur, c'est nous-mêmes haïtiens, nous-mêmes d'Israël, nous-mêmes petites Lévi, même avec le prophète Moïse, qui était des descendants de Lévi. À partir du prophète Moïse, Seigneur, c'est nous. Si nous comptons l'autre livre, si nous vivons selon le règlement livre, qui t'a privé au ministère d'ailleurs, ça va faire nous toutes les nations qui sont grandes, parce que toutes les nations qui sont sur la terre. Seigneur, c'est nous-mêmes qui avons grande puissance sur la terre. Je vais dire en nous que c'est les États-Unis, c'est pas blanc dans ça, qui va même les pays, un blanc dans ça, qui va même continuer pour utiliser pour poule, un blanc dans ça, qui va même continuer pour danser. Donc, je vais dire c'est nous-mêmes qui avons grande puissance. Mais Seigneur, c'est nous-mêmes qui sommes dans position ça. C'est nous-mêmes haïtiens qui sommes dans position pour nous gouverner le monde. Pour qui ça? Parce que grand-papa nous, Abraham, c'était un jeune garçon qui a marché dans la droiture. Et bien, Seigneur, c'est choisi et nous-mêmes, Haïtiens, nous sommes descendants. Abraham, Isaac, avec Jacob. Avec ça, il va jamais enseigner dans l'école. Nous avons essayé de connaître que nous sommes appliqués. Nous avons appliqué des Israélites. Et Seigneur, c'est nous-mêmes, les Haïtiens, nous-mêmes, les Israël, si nous écoutons paroles, la promesse des mondes, la plus grande puissance du monde, les États-Unis comme ça, Joe Biden comme ça, Donald Trump comme ça, Bill Clinton comme ça, comment nous connaissons qui est souillé? C'est nous-mêmes qui avons l'identité, c'est nous-mêmes qui avons qui est souillé, c'est nous-mêmes qui avons qui c'est nous, c'est nous-mêmes qui avons qui langage nous parler en bas esclavage. Mais je dis, on va faire c'est hébreu ou des bonnes parler. Pour qu'ils savent qu'on sont israélites, pour ces personnes qui vont dire, et c'est pour ça qu'il y aura nous. Continuez à observer. 95, verset 2. Oui, si nous coûtons hier, mon Dieu nous, mes bénédictions la vie sous nous. C'est-à-dire, c'est nous, la vie des bénédictions sous nous, si nous coûtons parole. Et qui ça qui va passer nous-mêmes haïtiens? Qui nous fait nous battre puissance sur les jours? Qui nous fait ces blancs dans eux qui a gouverné sous nous sur les jours? Qui nous fait les États-Unis qui a gouverné sous nous sur les jours? Si mon Dieu décide nous que c'est nous-mêmes qui nous grande puissance, eh bien, pas oublier, Seigneur décide, qui nous a fait une grande puissance? Si nous obéissons commandement, eh bien, c'est ça qui passe nous haïtiens. Ça qui passe nous, c'est que nous vivons nos bails, mon Dieu. Nous vivons nos bails, mon Dieu. Même si nous sommes des Israéliens, nous avons appelé dans la Bible.
AHDAYAR, eu vi perfumes.
And these people that's in here behind this gate, this is the tribe of Levi. You know what I'm saying? According to the Bible. So what we're trying to do is help our people. Texans always say they don't need permission to help Texans. Well, we're saying we don't need permission to help our brothers.
There is a gas station on entrance of 15th Street where some of these migrants are being released. Yeah, brother, at a Stripes.
At a Stripes gas station?
50 and veterans.
Somebody get the address.
You'll see them in the corner. They're sitting on the
About how many of them out there?
I was there just about a good hour ago, and there were about 10 to 15.
10 to 15, okay.
They were in need of food and money for their travel expenses.
What's the address again?
15th Street and veterans.
15 and veterans.
Your name is Uso?
No, we're ISUPK.
Yeah, ISO. What is the pronunciation?
It's Israelite School, Universal and Practical Knowledge.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, and I know that there is a charity locally that helped the migrants. I don't have their address because I was trying to get it, but no problem.
Y'all based in Mexico?
No, we're in the U.S. It's called the Border People. They have a shelter. If you head over to that gas station, you'll find some. Yeah, probably better.
What we're gonna do, we're just gonna end up. We're probably just gonna go in through Eagles Pass, second bridge, and just come back around and come through the backside.
Gotcha. No, and there is a shelter.
You said it's a Stripes?
Yeah, Stripes.
Based out of Mexico too?
Yes.
Based in the US?
Yeah, it's got a car wash.
Yeah,
What we're gonna do, we're just gonna go
Phoenix
in
Rising in
to
America.
Mexico and
Yeah.
just feed them from Mexico side. All right, thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, no I think they're trying to get to a Stripes gas station. Well, I know. I talked to them before. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking for him.
You guys good if I get a picture real quick while y'all are there? Am I good? Is that cool?
I'm gonna get an interview with one of them. Well, I had already talked to them about it. Where are they?
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, do you think you can hold this?
Yeah. Just the group. Awesome. But who'd you talk to about the interview?
Yeah, you can get a picture of what's standing here right now.
That good? Here.
Go down, turn around.
Who do you need to speak to?
You see your group?
Yes.
Do you? Now, really? Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Ready? Slow on it.
So, you see your group out here. So, what are y'all doing?
We coming out here to make sure that our brothers and sisters can get some food and some water. We have toiletries. We coming out here to make sure that they can get what they need. As we saw when we just went over there to speak with them, they said that they were not able to take our donations, but they can give them to a church. Those people are not at a church. Those people are under the bridge. And we have cases, we have pallets of water, we have pampers for the children, we have clothes for the women and the men, and we have all the things that they would need under the bridge, not at a church. So we're trying to make sure that we get them the food and the access that they need. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go around, go through Eagles Pass, go through Mexico, and give them what they need from the other side. That's all.
Can you tell me who you guys with?
We're the Israelite School, Universal Practical Knowledge. We're a Bible-based nonprofit organization. We're based out of Harlem, New York. We're under Commanding General Yohana. And we teach that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the true Israelites according to the Bible. And those people that are behind this gate, those are our brothers. It's the tribe of Levi. And Texans always love to say that they don't need an excuse to help Texans, and we don't need an excuse to help our brothers. So we here and we gonna help.
And what were you trying to do to them?
We were just trying to give them clothes and the things that they need, water, toiletries. We have a couple of things that can assist them, that can make this hard time that they're going through a little lighter.
And what did the military? What did they say? What did they tell you guys?
They told us to go and donate it to a church.
What do you think about how the government is handling the situation?
Well, we see how they handled the situation with the Afghanistan people. We see that they've allocated over $300 million to the Afghanistan evacuees, meaning they rescued them. And these were people that actually committed terrorist attacks on our soil. These people are coming over here because of an earthquake that they could not control. And this is a horrible incident. And, America claims to be the place to pursue the happiness, but they're trying to pursue happiness and safety. And America is turning them around, and it proves that this is not the land of the free.
Do you guys have a chapter here in Texas? Or?
Yes, we are the school in Texas.
Okay.
What about those who didn't just come from Haiti? Now, maybe they're originally from Haiti, but they've been living elsewhere in South America. We've seen many people come up after being out of Haiti for almost a decade. Do they still, deserve asylum, even though they've been out of Haiti for years?
Yes, absolutely. We're here to help those people that are under that bridge. We're here to give them the food, the water, and the clothes, or whatever it is that we can assist them with. That's it. This is a state of emergency. And in this state of emergency, if America doesn't want to help them, we will.
How long are you guys planning on being down here to keep providing assistance for these people?
We're going to come down here as much as we can, as long as we can, as long as there's people still under that bridge.
And your name, please?
My name is Captain Yatazak with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commander General Yohana.
Can you spell your first name for me, please?
YATAZAQ.
Thank you.
Where can people look you guys up, brother?
We're ISUPK.com.
Okay.
We have schools all over the world. We have a school in Haiti. We have schools everywhere. We teach this all over who we are for our people to come back to their culture. So it's ISUPK.com.
All right.
Last question. What is your message to those in power, whether it's the president or those who are with DHS or Border Patrol? What is your message to them?
My message to them is that thank you for showing everyone who you really are. Thank you for letting everybody see your true colors.
And what do you mean by that?
Thank you for showing that this is not the home of the free. This is not, all men are not created equal. Right. Thank you for proving the Declaration of Independence has nothing to do with minorities. That's right. If you're going to call this the land of the free, you shouldn't choose who you want to help. Right. They made sure that they could help the Afghanistan. Now they are calling these people, they're deporting them back to their homes when they are running from the ground caving under their feet. There's nothing they can do about that. Those people in Afghanistan, they could have stayed home. Right. They chose to come over here. But those people, they didn't have a choice.
Appreciate you, man.
No problem.
Have a good day.